Disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Alley Cat, and I'm the infamous twin. And we have Miss RP, aka Rita, aka Ree, aka Tata. And you're now watching the Kultcha.
Yo,
Let's have fun with it.
but we also gonna have an important topic with this fun.
Protecting our women.
Protecting our women.
Okay. And we got a good protector here because she's a lawyer.
And trust me, for
We
y'all
gotta
that look
protect
at
them.
us, we need more women on the show. So we're not gonna over talk, we're not gonna play jumping jacks or nothing. She gonna make her say, we're gonna make our say, and we definitely gonna build on this today. So, about protecting our women. Some people feel like there's no protection at all.
Hold on. Let's. I want to specify it. I don't want to generalize our women.
That's why I'm not generalizing. Right?
Protecting the American black woman.
Okay, so you wanna start locally.
Okay.
Okay.
Worldwide, but I mean, we got to keep it domestic.
I mean, all women in general. There's plenty of women that came from Haiti here. There's plenty of women that
No,
came
but
from all over.
you know why? When we break it down, we are in America, and when you look at any other cultures or ethnicities, when it comes to blacks, because you know it's like tribes. When they got dumped on that island, they became part of Haiti.
But that's what make America multicultural.
Yeah, but when we're in America, we don't really defend the American black woman.
So let's
Like
start
Haitians would defend a Haitian woman. I mean, you know, different cultures defend their women, but let's start with the American black woman because once they dump us here, we take on their origin.
Yeah.
We take on their ethnicities and whatever they want us to be, if they say that we are. So I don't want to generalize it. I'm going to categorize it. I'm going to put it in this category, and then we're going to go and expand it.
We definitely need to expand it, but
Okay.
we'll start locally.
Let's start because they say we don't know where we came from because our history has been erased.
Yeah.
So I want to protect the American black woman because my daughter's American. Believe it or not, no matter her grandfather, her great grandfather is Chinese Jamaican, and we can start breaking it down in the lineage, and you know, but she's American. She's
Nice.
gonna be considered American no matter where I take her.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that we're gonna talk about and get away from because we need to just really just say that we are all people of color.
We're going to get to that. We can break it down.
So protecting the American black
RP.
woman, RP, aka.
AKA. Yeah, okay. Protecting the American black woman. I would actually just go to say protecting the black woman and leaving it at that because whether you're Haitian, whether you're Jamaican, whether you're whatever, if you are a black person to the eyes of a white man, right? Like they're not gonna look at you and say, "Oh, she looks like she might be Haitian. This black woman over here, she might be Jamaican." So I feel like when we're talking about protecting, you know, women of color, we're really talking about protecting black women, not saying black Haitian women, because the Haitian community, we're still here in America, right? Whatever happens to us here, we're still looking for everybody to have our back. We're not just looking for the Haitian community. We want all black people to have each other's back. So, I mean, this topic of protecting black women, I think, has been at the forefront with respect to a lot of the issues that we've been experiencing with race relations. I don't know if you guys had heard about the young woman Olutoyin Salau. She was a activist in Tallahassee, Florida. Right, like she was like, you know, speaking out against, you know, no, she wasn't lynched. She was raped and, you know, murdered, I guess. They found her body by the hands of a black man, right? And I know that right there really touched a lot of people because this girl, like a week before, was out here fighting, talking about, you know, protecting black men and all this other stuff. And then for her to die, like I think a week later after that, from the hands of a black man. So a lot of black women are like, this is what we're talking about. Like the black community, the black men, like we're out here fighting for them. We're at the forefront of these protests and we're the ones who are holding it down. But at the end of the day, like where is the love for us, right? Where's the protection for us?
And I definitely want to put this in for the people that's watching because there's a misnomer about that same lady talking about the crowd she used to hang out with, how she's very easygoing with men, and this was about to happen. That doesn't matter. She doesn't deserve, to get what she got. She deserves to live. So just quit with all that. I just want to say that before you continue.
Whether it's sexual abuse or abuse at the hands of the police, right? Because we're seeing a lot of that now too. I think because of social media, we're seeing a lot of incidences where black women are being punched out by law enforcement, being thrown to the ground by law enforcement. Before you used to just see the men get attacked, but now we're seeing like women, like legit. I think it might have been in Lansing, Michigan, a woman get uppercutted by a police officer.
Y'all also is getting attacked at a disproportionate rate than black men. It's just in a different area, right? So maybe it's not about police. It's about I hear people who's sexual predators. You know what I'm saying? So black men are not preyed upon like black women when it comes to sexual predators. You know what I'm saying? So we all got our own categories. But at the end of the day, we both come home to the home. We both sexes come home to the home. And we're both affected by it. All right? There are stories during, 1930s and 20s where black women was hung for trying to save her sons. This is why the black woman today tell the black man or her black son when he driving a car, please listen to the officer. Please, because she already witnessed him being lynched back then. She already wished she got that trauma from back then. Do you understand? So once we understand each other, we'll realize we're really in the same boat. You know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't be a competition.
And people continue to segregate it and separate it. I don't get it, I really don't. You cannot have one without the other. Your struggle against police brutality as a black man is directly related to the black woman. And you don't see that. Those women was getting raped in the houses to save your life. They was taking those risks. So you could continue out there in the cotton field. Why they don't talk about that? They don't. The same way they leave the black woman out of everything else, whether it's religion, biblical, it doesn't matter. They leave the sister out of there. And we here to emphasize it today. Definitely. So when I look at the little black girl, this is what I see, right? I see a baby stroller. I see a fake kitchen with fake eggs and frying pan. Gearing the black woman up for motherhood. Gearing her already. This is why a young black woman turn 10 and say, I want a baby. And the father get offended. You want what? Go to your mother. You hear what she said? Because she's already geared up for that. Do you understand? When I was younger, I saw sisters. I liked it to play basketball all day. I knew nothing about sex and going with the opposite sex. I knew nothing about it. But my sister and her friends, they like the Big Daddy Kane picture on the wall. He's cute all day. I didn't know what cute was. You understand? Because girls are so geared for that. They like boys when they're cute, when they're younger, They gear more for it. That's why the old saying is, a girl is 5 years smarter than the guy, right? She got a 5-year edge on him. You understand what I'm saying? But the truth is, she really don't, right? It's to put her in this structure. It's to put her in this system where she can't win. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it starts to crumble, I think, when the black woman thinks she could win without the black man. We got to use both. But we definitely want black sisters to get their just due. It is time. Because I feel like a lot of black men had the opportunity.
We have to protect our children, period. We have to protect our women. And when you watch these things, we have to be held accountable as well. Like when I see my daughter do certain things, I get infuriated with the pose and certain things. I say, no. Why are you saying that? So, I have to catch her, and then I have to catch myself, but I have to catch her while she's with me, because now when she turned 13, 14, 15, and if, God forbid, she brings home a baby, you planted this seed.
Well, you and society as a whole.
Yes, but the role model starts at home.
It does. But I think for me, I think that the home is where it all starts. But unfortunately, with the way that society is, the way that the structure is, it can't just be the home, right? Like you have kids who came from a horrible home life, but the church stood up and was like, you know what? We know what's going on in your house, but we're gonna set you straight here, right? So it's kind of like that village aspect that we don't have now. We don't have that, it takes a village to raise a child mentality. When I was a kid, the whole block was your parent. They could beat you and whatever the case is and tell you what to do. So there was.
Your age.
listen. What is that? Age like fine wine, so it is what it is.
No.
But I think that that's what's missing in this particular culture because, unfortunately, we would want all the parents to, be responsible and take account. But we have to be honest about certain situations. It's not a perfect situation.
That's why I was bringing the situation.
But I think that that's the biggest thing is that we need to get to a point where we get back to the village, whether it be the block, whether it be society. Like there has to be accountability more so than just the parents. It has to be everyone.
So how can we get back to this village notion when we're in this structure? Right. First, we got to eliminate the structure first to get back to the village, right? Because the structure do not allow it, right? No matter where the black woman go, she's ostracized. There's a sexist work partner. There's a feminist person. Like, so every stepping stone she goes through, by the time she goes through it, she tired. She broken down. You know what I'm saying?
You have to remember within this topic, we're talking about who, what, where, and why. And then, with the comparison of the black man. And I do feel you are right, the black man should always step up for the black woman. But that's why I said to keep it domestic. Because in the American society, United States of America, let me clear that, the United States of America, which the law is aware of governing, the black man is the lowest on the totem pole. Then you have the American animal or common pet, which is the dog. Animals have more rights than the black man. Then you have the black woman. So, it's when we
You would find others to say the opposite, though.
You think?
You would find people that would say that if we're talking about on a larger scale, like if we're talking about not just in the police brutality realm, right? You will find a lot of people to say that actually black women are at the bottom of the barrel because even we're talking about jobs, you'll find that a black man will still make more money than a black woman. You'll find in different realms that a black man will still get more respect than a black woman because he's a man. Even though there's the black layer that you guys have to deal with, obviously, we all have to deal with that black layer. But then there's the man layer, and then there's the woman layer. The woman part, we're now starting to get, certain, rights. And even though it looks like, we're making so much strides, we're really not. There's still like one, maybe, whatever, a black woman somewhere. So I'm just saying that. I hear what you're saying.
No, that is very debatable.
I hear what you're saying, but
I feel like none of it is debatable because it shouldn't be black man at the bottom or black woman at the bottom. It should be black people at the bottom.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sex it is.
But when you really break it down, no matter how we sum it up, we need to. He's right. We need to protect one another.
Yeah.
Once we can, I guess, channel it and get to understand that we have a lot of self-hate, maybe we can protect our black women more. And it's so many ways that we found where the woman's not protected. But the main source is at home. It's a lot of single women moms that's raising these young black men. And they don't even have the project cousins or the uncles, because even the uncles are not stepping up because they're pieces of shit to their daughters and their own kids.
Yeah.
So, and then you know what it is as well, is that the fellow black men hanging out with one another is not checking them.
Yep.
Because you know why? If you ain't shit to your son or daughter, how can you be my homeboy? Because you really don't care about me. Because you don't care about something you created.
And y'all absolutely right. There's a lot of, she said earlier, there's a lot of factors that play into this. Whether it's the welfare system, which gets the black man out of the home, and you got to get his social security
We
number.
passed that though.
Or whether there is a structure in place within the home where the black man, he's living there and he can't bathe his own daughter. He can't do certain stuff with his own daughter. The mother don't allow it. These are all contributing factors to us not protecting the black woman, saying later for them, they think they got it all. They think they don't need us. They think da-da-da-da-da.
And that's the total opposite, I'm telling you. Like, I mean, there are women who are very vocal about it. Like, yeah, I don't need, but that comes from a place of hurt, from them saying that they don't need a black man or they don't need a man, period, right?
Excuse me, Ray.
Yes.
You was shocked when we had a off camera conversation,
Mhm.
you was shocked that I play a major part with my daughter.
No,
So that was that. So I'm putting that because listen, this is the culture, and we got to put ourselves out there first.
I wouldn't say
so
that I was shocked. I can't say that I was shocked. Shocked is a very strong word because I know a lot of men who do take care of their children and who do raise. Like my uncle actually raised all 5 of his kids by himself. So I wasn't shocked, but I was just like, it was more like a wow. It wasn't a shock like, oh my God, but it was like, I commend you.
We can mess our daughters up as well. Because now you're supposed to do this. My daddy did it.
That is true. That is true. I have a couple of girlfriends that, I mean, that's the first time I actually witnessed it like that before because, a lot of my friends didn't grow up with their fathers. But this one was just like her man had to, I mean, she found the guy. I mean, there's somebody for everybody out there. But she found the guy that I guess lived up to, but that was what she would say. She was like, if my dad does this, so if my dad does this for me, like whoever I'm with needs to be able to do the same or better. And that was the standard for her to get a man. Yeah.
That's a good point to elaborate on too. Do you think there's lack of protection because the black woman looks for, is too much expectation? She looked for a black man that he just can't live up to that and just gives up?
I think that it's twofold. I think that there is an expectation from women who never had a father, so they didn't have an example anyway. So now we're kind of creating what this expectation is. It's just like in dating. Like, it's like, I mean, I've never had that. I never saw it in my house play out. How a man is supposed to treat a woman. I don't know how a father is really supposed to treat a daughter. So now I've kind of created my own based on like maybe TV, what I've seen from friends or whatever, and I've created that expectation. But then there are, other women, because they've either had their father or whatever, they have that expectation because this is what they know. And so now...
I don't know, I'm asking you. So you think a woman that doesn't have a father, you saying that she might create expectation for a man?
Might. I think a lot of times the women, you'll find women who do make it about themselves. But when you peel that onion back, there's always something behind it. I would go off to say that most women don't want to be miserable or don't want to have to do all of that. I would say most. Some probably just like to be dramatic.
You see how I'm sitting here?
Yeah, some like to be dramatic, but there's a reason for that too. Who knows, right? I think that though, a lot of times, unfortunately, as women, as single mothers or whatever, we don't want to either admit that we really don't know because in our minds we're like, well, we're the parent. We're the one that's like, we don't see it as, we're not in a 2-parent structure. We never seen that before. So we don't know how it's supposed to work. All I know is that my mama raised me. She took care of everything. She took care of this. I need to be able to do what my mother did. Like if I can't do that, then like what type of a mother am I? And unfortunately that clashes. I'm just saying from personal experience.
But it's a slang code I want to give you. If you knew better, you'd do better, right?
Yes, but that's the problem.
But you would want better for your child.
But that's the problem. They're not seeing it as they're not doing necessarily. They're not seeing it as I'm not doing better. They're seeing that, listen, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as the narrative of a single black mother. There's a single black mother narrative, right? And so when we're talking about generations by generations, it's easy for outsiders to come in and say, well, you're educated, you should know better, you should do this or whatever. But it's that same tunnel vision with the mothers that have their sons, and they don't see that by them babying their child that way, that they are like actually hurting them. And
my son is a mama's boy.
Yeah, and there are some kids that are not mama's boys, but you still have the mother fighting. Like for me, for example, I'm a single mom. My son's 13 years old, right? My mom was a single mom. My grandmother was a single mom. Like that's just what we come from a family of single mothers. That's just what it is. And I don't even know before. I think before that.
But you was married.
No, I was never married.
Oh,
Yeah. Me and my son's father, we met in college, my freshman year of college, and then we were together for 6 years. I had my son, I think, in year 4. But then, right before I was going to law school, like there was just like
that's a beautiful thing though, because you said you had your son within the 4th year. So somewhat y'all, because nobody ever really knows somebody, but y'all took time.
Yeah, nobody was trying to,
No. I just want to put it out there because the narrative.
We
see you, but you created a narrative. Some people be with each other 6 months.
No, but I also like the fact of her story where they did it simultaneously. A lot of times, you know, you hear the narrative of get your education first and worry about that later. But she did it simultaneously, you know. But it's also thinking about a family too, because women got a biological clock. So I like the fact, right, that you think about time. So continue.
So continue. I just wanted to put that out.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But you know, things happen, and he was like my first boyfriend. Like I wasn't really a dater like that. I wasn't into relationships like that. I was always about doing my thing, volunteering. Like I was that quintessential, I guess, good kid. And so now it's like I'm in a situation where it's like we got to a point where it's like we're cool, but like the gel really isn't there in terms of like a real relationship. Because we're done with college. We're adults now. We're like, as adults, I don't think we really worked good together.
The maturity is changed.
Yeah, the maturity has changed.
You
and so
got started thinking different.
Exactly. Like we were like, maybe we're not supposed to be together.
That's beautiful. There's no infidelity. There's no cheating. There's no nothing. It's just.
Well, I don't want to go into that because.
No, I'm saying her story.
I'm saying, but even we don't know because she might be holding that.
Well, I'm just going off information.
That's what I'm saying. She might. Listen, only if you knew. I caught him with Rebecca, Bertha, and Shaniqua, and all at the same time. Look. You're like, what? Then they always want to crack the joke. He was Muslim.
Oh God.
He had 4 wives.
I mean, isn't that what the book?
Because for a man, cheating.
No, I'll break that down.
Because for a man, if his woman cheats, is cheating to him. For a woman, it's cheating also, but they always want to see how the girl look. And it's always like, oh, she looked better than me. That's why I asked you about the intelligent part versus the look part. Which one you rather prefer?
Because women do that.
No, they ask, but you know what I
find
when
you get with somebody new.
You know what I find though is that a lot of times what pisses women off is when the woman is totally opposite and is a slob. I've seen situations.
So I'm asking why
upgrade. That's called the upgrade.
Because it's like you
didn't upgrade. You went down.
You left this to go
on
to
the
that.
culture. There's a straight contradiction. We said we want to be attracted to intelligence. That's like to be intelligent.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yes, but it's inner beauty. And listen,
he said inner beauty.
No. Can I explain something?
No, because you want to know why men are always saying that. No, like as men, when they come to you, they're like, it was just sex. It was just physical. It was just this. That's what you wanted to sleep with?
Tata, listen here. It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Sir, that was
and if you don't hold them eyes, well, damn you.
But there are also universal truths in this world.
Well, listen, I dated a young lady, right? Mm-hmm. And my brother said, he looked at her, he said, what you doing? I said, she's beautiful. Not with you right here. Like, no. He went in, and then she walked back in the kitchen. We was all like this. And I'm looking at him like, you serious? Like, I had to look at her like, maybe I had to do one of these. Look like, how you look like? I'm stepping in front of the camera like, that's my brother. This is me. Oh, goddamn. He might be right. Well, goddamn, he might be right. I might have settled. I might have went through an emotional phase and broke up with somebody.
Beer goggles.
Maybe I'm naive about it, but the first time I've been attracted to intelligence was in college. I went for a sandwich, sat down. It was this dark-skinned sister. I didn't know what she looked like. All I hear is her voice. I'm in my sandwich. And she talking about molecules and there's a gene for why we black women got attitudes and this gene turns off. So I looked up like, who is talking? This is my first year in college as a freshman. So that's the first time I've been sexually attracted to intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter to me if your man do cheat how the next woman looks.
I respect you because you know why? You came out and said that, and you said you're okay with that in public. A lot of people won't do that. And I respect you for that because you know why? Listen, man, I've done some things in my life where I'm like, listen, you're going to walk out the back door. You know the comedy skits that they do, they be like, you walk and hold hands as soon as your homeboys come, you like this.
Drop it.
Listen, sex play a part. In a relationship. It does. And it plays a very important part.
That's the sad part.
But what happens after you're done with sex?
That's what I'm saying.
It plays,
you know what I mean?
And I think a lot of women
then you see the word, and you see what he used, and I don't mean to cut you off. You see what he used? It plays an important part. Sex should never be important. I got to a stage in my life.
You said sex should never be important?
Should never be important. Because you know why?
Why?
My uncle says this, and when he watched this, he's going to love that I said it. I don't want to be with somebody that their feelings is in their vagina. I'm using the right word.
The clean
I
word.
was going to clean it. Because when you have an argument, you say your feelings is in your pussy. I don't want that. I don't want you to love me So I've been. Don't get me wrong. I get with women, and I've been lucky to be, I guess, to be able to schmooze around the 6-month rule or the 90-day rule. So, so listen here. Don't challenge me. I don't want it. I will not do the challenge. So now, I really sit there now and be like, I start wanting to figure out you. So I don't look at the sex like now. I'm like, okay, and I feel like okay.
So would you just use sex for procreation?
Well, I procreated enough.
No, I'm just saying though.
And the ones that I chose,
there's no feeling,
ruined me.
Because I don't believe that a person can lay down with somebody and not have.
No, it's feelings. I didn't say that, but it shouldn't be majority of the feelings. It shouldn't hold a big.
I say majority. I said it plays an important part.
It should be important.
Why should it be important?
You know why? You think it should be important?
I feel like there's an importance. It shouldn't be the like. It shouldn't
okay,
be
so let me ask you.
Let's say
like I said, it plays an important part. But let me ask you a question, because God bless his soul.
You said it plays an important part.
You
but
said
it
it
shouldn't be an important.
It shouldn't be an important part.
Why?
Because a good brother of mine, right, passed away. He was murdered by his lady for 17 years.
Oh wow.
He did cancer radiology. He was a radiologist. He's the one.
Yeah, we know.
I'm actually. So he was telling me one day, man had, I guess, testicular cancer. Whatever it is. And he had to. The guy said no. Now I was glad that sex wasn't in. When I heard the story, sex wasn't an important part to his wife. Because you know why? She said, "I love you regardless."
This is Override Right Night.